So I talked about basically that the plan was that after the April celebrations, I would go back to the UK to be in the London Centre, and then ultimately, like, I ended up staying for a few more days, and Guru gave me a spiritual name. And then it was sort of like I remember the disciple I was staying with had said to me, because I said, like, basically, I don't have a ticket to fly back now. He said, well, it all gets sorted out eventually. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. But then I kind of, like, a couple of weeks went by, and then so sort of like staying in New York, and it was around the time that in that summer, usually at that time, they would have this like 24-hour bicycle thing in New York in Central Park, and the center basically had a team. We'd always group or encouraged to have a team together. So usually in the mornings, we'd all go down to Flushing Meadow and ride our bikes, and Guru give prasad, but there was a project that was going to happen. That one disciple from San Francisco had found, because Guru had started getting into playing tennis, but he didn't have like a tennis court to play on or anything like that. He would play like, on Jamaica track, near the track, he'd play against the wall or near the wall and stuff like that. But he had found a place in the Jamaica Estates that had like a disused tennis court behind the house, but it needed to be like redone. It had been disused, it was kind of overgrown, it was uneven and so on. So there was an idea that, like, after we did our bicycle training and stuff and Guru gave prasad, then Guru said, like, oh yeah, we need volunteers to go and help with this thing. So we would go there and we would, like, take weeds off and then, like, try to rake out different stuff. And because I had this background in horticulture, because that's what I had studied, which also included like sports facilities and stuff, I kind of knew what I was doing. And the disciple from San Francisco who was in charge of the whole project sort of saw this. And then Guru would come by after about an hour or so when we were there, and Guru would come by and give prasad to the volunteers and to all the workers that were working on the project. And so this guy who was in charge said, when he said to Guru, hey, there's this one boy here who knows what he's doing, because he'd asked me, hey, you seem to know what you're doing. And I said, I had this background in it. And so Guru said, yes, he will stay and work on it. So that was kind of now, like, I know now that I was going to not just be going back after a few weeks or whatever, and struggle to find a flight and all this kind of thing. It looked like I was going to be staying for a little while in New York. And so ultimately we ended up, this was the first tennis court that we had for Guru. Veliki macchiato. And okay, we're going. So and then so that was the thing, and it took us, like, I was sort of like one of the kind of foremen of the job. And then I remember it was like there were two other New York disciples that kind of, were like really heavy workers, and we did that. And we would get volunteers coming every morning. We would get people that would come and stand for a few hours, stay the whole day. The couple that owned the house, that owned the tennis court, were very, very nice with us. They'd bring us drinks and different things. So we worked on it. I think, remember it was like 2 or 3 weeks or something that we worked on this whole thing. It took us 2 or 3 weeks to finish it. We actually, we had contacted this one guy who back on Long Island owned tennis courts and stuff. And the whole idea was it would be a hard true or clay court. And so we had to, purchase a whole several tons, however, of these bags of what was actually called hard true. And it's sort of like a powder, and you have to, like, once we had leveled everything, which we get different instruments, there was so many different engineers we discovered in the center that had like different equipment and this and everything. And we leveled essentially the whole playing surface, and then we were shown, this guy came and showed us how to ultimately to put this hard true down. And you put it down like, as a powder, and you put it down in sections, and then you watered it, and then it became hard, and then, or like clay, and then, you moved like the things, and bit by bit you did these sections of it and everything like that. And so when it was all ready first Guru invited, I think, one of the girls singing groups like Tanima's group or something to come and sing. So we had like sort of like this inauguration of the thing, and all the people that worked on it, including me and the other two main guys, were there, and for this inauguration. And then Guru gave us these trophies, which is really, really awesome, you know. So I remember I had this trophy that was like sort of like maybe half a meter high, and but then, you know, I remember I had this sort of, I got a phone call from England from my parents to say that my grandmother had passed away, and you know, they were kind of hoping that maybe I would go back to the UK. But I said, you know, at that point I felt like, you know, really settled now in New York. I was really happy, I was manifesting, I was doing things for Guru, you know, really trying to please Guru, and so I didn't really know what to do. And so I said, even my grandfather said to me, you know, if you don't come, I will understand. And I thought, wow, that was really, really cool. So I got the opportunity to then, through a Shrita, tell Guru that, you know, what the situation was. And I said that, you know, my grandfather said, you know, he will, if I don't come, he will understand. And then Guru said, then fine, do not go, stay here. And that was the thing then. At that point I realized maybe that I was like staying in New York for the long haul,